Nothing gets me fired up for Packer talk like some nitty-gritty bands singing me some Fishing in the Dark. That's all I know. So we are back here on Wisconsin Sports on the Go with Trage. I'm your host, Trage. This next segment here, we're going to talk a little Packers. Ummer's stopping by. We're going to wrap up preseason week 2. We're going to look ahead to preseason week 3. This next segment here is brought to you by Sport and Spine Clinic of Greenwood, Wisconsin. Expert traditional physical therapy and structural integration programming. Call for flexible scheduling and evaluations. Just call Chad down there at Sport and Spine Clinic of Greenwood, Wisconsin. He'll get you right doing whatever you are doing, feeling better than ever. Sport and Spine Clinic of Greenwood there. So, Ummer, we have our Sport and Spine game changer of the week here for the Packers. Who's going to win the award this week? Who was our game changer there against the Colts in that? I mean, there's a couple. Maybe there's a couple that you had, but who was your game changers of the week?
I mean, honestly, it seemed like, again, it wasn't a game changer, but, I mean, honestly, he was. Jordan Morgan just went another day being very quiet, no pressures, no sacks given. May not have the greatest playing strength, but his technician, Mark Oldacres and a couple other guys that I follow was like, yeah, his technique is outstanding. And that's probably what they saw when they drafted him in the first round. And we're starting to see that come to light. So I feel like him coming out there and playing the way he did, it just shows that we have, like, honestly, probably the left tackle of the future there. And that definitely makes things about Rasheed Walker more interesting. Him and I feel like, Brinson had a pretty good game. I think Tyron Hooper really had a good game. He seems to be stacking success in the last 2 games. And I feel when it comes to the offensive line, one of the biggest things we've noticed is that Elton being the center, easy peasy. Jordan Morgan being a left tackle, easy peasy. Aaron Banks a left guard, and then Sean Ryan a right guard for the most part seems pretty good. So it wasn't like we won the game, right? But I feel like those plays, and of course I can't be remiss without mentioning Julian Hicks's amazing one-handed catch that didn't even count, and Cornelius Johnson, who both guys that have been there since last year's as undrafted free agents are really coming into their own, which we might need them if Wicks and Reed don't get healthy by week 1.
Yeah. No, I'm gonna comment on that, but I can't believe I forgot to. How are we doing, Ummer? How are we doing? It's Wednesday. How are you doing tonight? I want to know how you're doing.
I'm good, man. I'm good. I can't complain. I'm a little tired. It's been a crazy week so far, and so work-wise, it's been kind of crazy. But all in all, looking forward to the upcoming fantasy football, upcoming Packer season, and just honestly, ready to get this show rolling because it just seems like there's just way too much time for Bears fans to think that they're going to the Super Bowl, Lions fans basically just living in the past and not knowing what's going to be coming for them and the reckoning that's going to be probably coming in for them this year. And yeah, just really getting tired of all the commentary and looking forward to seeing them actually show up in the season if they do.
Love to hear it. I love to hear that you're doing well. That's all that matters.
How are you?
Doing well. I'm doing good. Brewers, well, as we're talking right now, they're losing to the Cubs. So hopefully, as we wrap up this show, that they win this game. But I mean, that's kind of where we're at right now. We're just hoping that the Brewers stay ahead of the Cubs because your Bear fans are my Cub fans. That's my problem in life. Cub fans. So it's like the same thing. They're all from Chicago and they all suck. So that's all we need to do. So I want to touch in on a few things. You mentioned it right off the top there, Jordan Morgan. And the stat that I saw, 2 preseason games so far, he leads all offensive linemen. He has the highest pass block grade so far at 91. That's above all offensive linemen. Not just, in the NFC, all offensive linemen. Not just in the left tackles, all offensive linemen. I don't know at this point. I love Rasheed Walker. I think Rasheed Walker has got a ton of upside and a ton of talent. But I'm watching Jordan Morgan right now. How do you say, you're not even you're not going to get this job? How do you even say that to him at this point? Because Rasheed Walker, I know he's still fighting injury, and that sucks. I hate that he's fighting injury. It's hard to make it a battle because he's fighting injury. But how do you not find a spot for Jordan Morgan in the starting lineup right now for the Green Bay Packers? I mean, right now, would you even is Rasheed Walker. It's a competition. But for me, Jordan Morgan's taking that step. He's ahead of him right now because we've seen it now. We've seen it for two. I know it's preseason. Everybody's going to say it's preseason. But what we've seen, the intangibles, the little things, he looks good. He looks like he's not like well-fined. Like he's got a lot of work to do yet to be perfect, to be the greatest, left tackler or whatever that he can be. He's got a lot of fight tooling to do, right? But from what we've seen so far, he's a fine left tackle. He's 100% a starting left tackle here in the NFL. I know that. So what are your thoughts? I mean, just expand on that with the competition that they have right now. Do you think Jordan Morgan's got to step up? Where are you at right now with that whole competition?
I think when we came out of the draft, we really thought that we had possibly 3 left tackles on the team. Anthony Belton, of course, Rasheed Walker, and then, of course, don't forget last year's Jordan Morgan. And then as the training camp went on, you saw Morgan and you saw Rasheed Walker taking snaps. You saw Belton taking snaps there too. And in family night, you saw Morgan get dog walked by LVN. And now, since then, going up against the Stars with the Colts, going up against the Stars with the Jets, Jordan Morgan has played lights out. So it begs the question, Jordan Morgan might actually be pretty decent, and that LVN's hype this camp about having a monster camp might be true. And because of that, it really makes you wonder, from a standpoint of just the fact that he's gone literally now 2 games starting and no pressures, no sacks, and honestly looked good doing it. Makes you kind of really feel like, okay, maybe that is set. But then also, Belton probably had one of the worst games of his 2-game career, right? And as big as he is and as monstrous as he is, I mean, they need to be trying to put him at guard. And I know, he has played left tackle from Joy's career. He has quick feet and things like that. But, he just looked really bad out there. And maybe that's just, maybe it was just, honestly, it's just a really bad game for him all in all. He had penalties. He had, unnecessary roughness. He had all kinds of stuff going on. But, Rasheed Walker said that he gave him a clementine and told him to refocus and calm down. And then Melton, of course, didn't really sugarcoat or try to make excuses. He came on and said, hey, I had a terrible game. I need to be better. They corrected with me. They told me what I did wrong. And I'm going to be better because of it. So I respect that because a lot of times some of these players don't take accountability, especially young guys, especially rookies, right? Coming in, second-round pick, being he's probably a rock star when he was at North Carolina State. So I think seeing that makes you kind of wonder. Because, Aaron Banks, we paid him a lot of money, but he's on a 2-year deal. That's what it comes down to. He's getting paid a ton of money for 2 years. He's on a 2-year deal. And, we should be playing the best 5, not the most paid 5, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Right. And so, you got Zach Tom, he's locked down right tackle. You probably can have some competition at right guard, even though Sean Ryan has looked pretty good, pretty much the part, because Jacob Monk has actually taken a step back, not a step forward. Elton Jenkins is probably the best offensive lineman we have right up there. Zach Tom is 2, but Elton is 1A, right? And then you got Banks, who I'm not a big fan of. I'll be honest with you guys about that. And then, of course, you got Belton and Walker. Now, Walker, even though he played pretty well last year, his biggest issue is being consistent. And having him as a swing tackle is a great thing to have, especially in this league where everyone gets hurt. And then, of course, you got Belton, who I feel like can play every position except center. The line itself, because you still have Kadir Telford, you have some other guys out there that are that aren't well known, but you got Donovan Jennings, who also had a really bad game as well too, even though there's a lot of hype of him coming out of Michigan. And I feel like the depth that we have at offensive line is pretty good. And I don't feel like we're going to be in a bad situation if we're down a couple people like we have in the past.
I think they legit have 7 guys. I think they have 7 guys who you could feel comfortable with right now if you had to play them. You'd be comfortable. And you can mix and match guys. That's a good thing about this offensive line, and that's the way Goody loves to build it, is you can mix and match guys. Guys can play multiple positions and still be successful. I think that's a huge thing in this offensive line, is you can rotate around, as we're seeing Elton Jenkins. We know Zach Tom can play a little bit of center if he had to, right? So we know there's guys who can rotate. I think Sean Ryan plays a little bit of center, doesn't he, too?
Right.
He's functioned in there.
He's the backup.
He's the backup. So, you have all these guys who can flip into there if you have to, or move out if they had to. If Elton Jenkins didn't, for some reason, work at the center position, you can move him back out. You can move Sean Ryan in. You have options. So you love to have those options there. And that's huge. That is absolutely huge there. And you mentioned something. So I want to jump out of the offensive line. Let's look at that wide receiver room.
Right.
I don't think Mecole Hardman separated himself from anybody at this point. Like,
Really.
I was watching this last week, and I said to myself, Malik Heath is still making a case for himself because Malik Heath is still doing some good things out there. And then Julian Hicks, I don't think Julian Hicks is not a number 4 wide receiver. He's not a 3, he's not a 2, he's not a 1. But Julian Hicks could be a 5.
Yeah,
and if he was your 5, you'd be okay.
Yeah.
So, I mean, where are you at right now with that wide receiver room? We see finally Jaden Reed's got the boot off, so that's awesome. You have Romeo Dobbs back at practice. Golden's been fantastic, as we know. We got to get Savion back at practice yet. There's a lot of guys that got to get back to practice. Dontavian Wicks, we know he was sitting out there, or not sitting out, but out of practice there and out of gameplay. So, I mean, where are you at with this wide receiver room right now? We kind of know where the top 4 are going to be, right? Dobbs, Wicks, Reed, Golden. I think that's top. Yeah, it's top 4. 5 is still up in the air. 5 and 6, because there's probably gonna be 6. Those guys are still up in the air for me. What do you think right now with the wide receiver room?
I mean, honestly, you got Jaden Reed and Dontavian Wicks, who really haven't practiced, and one of the guys I follow, KDG, who's a great follow on Twitter. If anyone doesn't know, he even said it. He goes, "This wide receiver core before Golden and Savion was there led the league in drops. Now." Jaden Reed and Dontavian Wicks have missed most of training camp. Should we be concerned? And I said, responding to him is no, because they have Matthew Golden, who's basically came into the scene and looks like a 3-year vet with the way he's playing, right? He's just looks outstanding. He's catching everything. He seems to be ahead of the curve when it comes to it as a rookie. And then, Savion is another guy who's a rookie who has barely practiced. He's definitely redshirted He's almost redshirted as a rookie, and it's like almost the 3rd-round curse has returned, right? Because, Tarek Kraft was probably our last legit 3rd round, and then, I just Savion was a great pick based on what you saw in college, but the fact that he can't even get on the field, be it a concussion, be whatever it is, it just seems really weird. The wide receiver room scares me a little bit, but it's one of those things where I have a lot of faith in Golden. I do have, hopefully, Reed and Wicks are able to come back and begin the season. And, if not, then this might give some great opportunity for, guys that you didn't think were going to make the team. Because, you know what, I hate to say it, like, in the games that we did see Romeo Dobbs looks great in practice. He looks amazing in practice. But in the game, 2 drop passes. Malik Heath, a guy who I love to death, take his opportunity, another drop pass, right? And it could be one of those things where you have these kids, and they went and picked up the guy, Kawan Baker from the Raiders. They grabbed, they still got Julian Hicks, they got Cornelius Johnson. They have the kid that they grabbed out of Colorado State.
Will Shepard there. Will Shepard,
thank you. And they have and then on, don't forget, Terry McLaurin is still available for trade if we want to make that move.
Right.
But I feel like the thing that I feel is that Jordan is starting to get a disservice is the fact that it's almost the same issues that Rodgers had, but maybe he had it later in his career. Because, if you remember Ted Thompson, he did skimp on receivers. Every year he was drafted a guy in the 2nd round that just turned out to be the next best grade, right?
Yeah.
And it started with Driver, then it went to Jennings, then it went to Jordy, then it went to Devontae. And in there you had Brent Swain, you had the other guys that Randall Cobb, you had Jared Boykin, you had all of these, and then you had James Jones. I can't forget James Jones. You had all these dudes, and then after a while, it just took a little bit of slip, right? And unfortunately, right now with the way things are, maybe Christian Watson comes back by week 4. But what do you do for weeks 1 through 4, right?
Yep.
And then on top of that too, how is that going to work for him? Like, are we going to be giving Matthew Golden 25 targets a game? Right, is him and Tarek Kraft and honestly, this is a chance for Musgrave to get on the field more, play 2 tight end sets, and be more of a receiver. I have my concerns about the receiver room because the fact right now, it was like Jordan last year when he missed 2 weeks of training camp because of the contract issue. Now this year, training camp. I know Reed and Wicks are third-year guys, but still though they've missed so much camp. I just feel like it's going to take some time to get their feet under them. And even with that being said, who knows, if they're going to get past the issue that they had last year, because the fact that they haven't really been able to work on it for the last 2 months at least.
I don't hate the idea of Luke Musgrave getting time out the wide receiver spot either. I don't hate that. I mean, he's got the speed. He's got the talent to be out there.
He has everything. Size, speed, everything.
He can't block worth a crap. So that's why he doesn't really fit a tight end mold, but he fits a a skill position as a wide receiver. I mean, he fits out there in a wide receiver room with a
That's
big
what I'm
body
saying.
who can go get it. So I mean, I don't hate it. I don't hate it at all there. I think like you were saying, that wide receiver room is still up in the air. And that's why if they were to I don't think they're gonna go get Scary Terry, right? But even if they were able to, I wouldn't be opposed to it just because at this point, Golden. That's it.
Yeah.
Like nobody else. I mean, Reed, I like Reed. I think Reed's a fine option, right? I like Dobbs at times. I think Wicks has the most upside out of all of them, if you ask me, but none of them have proven it.
Yeah.
None of them, I mean, outside of Reed being your gadget guy and everything else in between, none of them have proven to be reliable, to be the guy, to be anything like that. So are they expendable? Yes. All of them. Every single one of them. I mean, until they prove otherwise, they are all expendable right now. They have a lot of depth, but is the depth great? Is it the best depth in the world? I don't know. And that's what we need to find out. And that's why I'm saying, like, Malik Heath, right? Hardman hasn't earned that job. It's still up in the air. Malik Heath could still jump in. I don't think Julian Hicks is going to, but I can see Julian Hicks. I mean, he continues to play well. Maybe a guy like that finds his way into a huge spot. I don't know, but it's going to be interesting to see. It's going to be interesting to see how they work this wide receiver room out, and hopefully Matt LaFleur is right. We don't have to worry about week 1, and these guys are going to be back because he says not to worry. He's not worried, but at the same time, like you said, they haven't been out there. So are we still worried that, I mean, you have the Detroit Lions. It's not like you're playing some pushover team. You have the Detroit Lions and you have the Commanders coming up. It's not like you're, playing, I don't know, the Tennessee Titans or something. You're playing some good teams to start the year.
100%.
And when you play good teams to start the year, you come out rusty, it's not going to end well, as we know, as we've seen in the past there. That's why we always harp on we want to see guys in the preseason, because when you see them in the preseason, they knock some of that rust off. You can tell the guys week 1 that didn't play in the preseason at all because there's a lot of rust and the training wheels are still on and they're trying to work them babies off, but they can't get them off yet. And then you're into week 4 before they finally get them off. So, yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with that whole thing. But a guy that we didn't know if he was going to make the roster, but now he's almost a lock and he's pretty darn good at where he got moved to, Bo Melton.
Yeah.
Just talk about, I'm impressed. I'm impressed from what I've seen. I mean, he's cornerback 4, and he's cornerback 4 by a landslide at this point. Let me know, what are you thinking? Like, what are you seeing right now out of Bo Melton? Are you liking what you're seeing? I mean, he's got his chance to play himself up into, like, CB3 if he wanted to at this point. I mean, he's been darn good.
Honestly, like the fact that Nate Hobbs has not been practicing because he got injured as well too. You're getting opportunities to see guys like him. You're seeing Kalen King out there. You're seeing Corey Valentine. I feel like with Corey Valentine, his tape is okay that I've saw, right? But at the end of the day, though, like you know what you got with him. He's a Simon Shore. He's a good special team dude. So I'm fine with that. Kalen King, just he has his ups and downs when it comes to his game. Bo Melton, to me, I feel like has the most upside, primarily because of the fact that he was just such a talented, athletic player as a receiver. He doesn't have bad habits, if that makes sense. Like he's at a point in his career now where he's a corner and he has the ability to really be half glass full and just take the teachings of a guy like Ansley and Halfley and really learn the position. Because, sometimes you got these corners who come in and maybe they got bad habits, they have bad coaching, and they got to break a lot of those tendencies to become a good corner, right? You don't have that at Bill Melton. And I think, Carrington, Valentine, and more than likely Nixon are going to be your 1 and 2. And then Nate Hobbs is getting paid to be basically your starting lineup. And normally, I think Halfley said it in multiple press conferences that, most teams play nickel, they play 3 corners, right? So, having Bo as your 4th and possibly even coming up as your 3rd, I'm almost guaranteeing that. I hate to say it, but you're almost guaranteed that one of the corners is going to get hurt. I'm not going to say who, but we all know that he has an injury history already, and he already has an injury. And more likely, Bo's going to have to come over there and probably start. And if he does, I'm not too worried about it. I think he can get the job done.
No, I completely agree. I like it. And I don't know how he did it. Like a couple weeks ago, we're talking about this guy in the wide receiver room being, maybe in the number 5, number 6. And now it's like, no, he's not a wide receiver at all. He might have to be. He might have to flip back over and play both sides of the ball. I don't know if they're going to do something crazy like that. But, at this point, he is a darn good corner. And if he continues, like you said, to work with these guys, progress through there, I can't wait. That is going to be exciting stuff. And it already is exciting stuff right there. So that's awesome. Any last thoughts? I mean, we're heading into week 3 of the preseason, the final week of the preseason here as we get prepared for regular season action. Any of your thoughts going into that matchup there with Seattle? What are you seeing? I mean, is there any keys that you're looking for?
I mean, honestly, it's sad to say, but Marshawn Lloyd being, the other third round pick who honestly just really he just can't get past the injury bug. And that was something that he has a problem that he was in college. So I hate to say it, but, we may have to cut our losses there because it just seems like he just can't stay healthy. Because he's a very talented player, but unfortunately he just cannot get past the same injuries over and over again. I want to see Emmanuel Wilson have a bounce-back game because he had some really good plays, but he also had a fumble. He had a bad pass block. So I want to see him come back and really hit the ground running, pun intended. And then, of course, you guys want to see, like, some of the younger guys like Donovan Jennings and Belton hopefully bounce back from really bad games. And maybe see who's going to do the play calling this week. Will it be Vrabel or will it be LaFleur, or will it be the tight ends coach Dunn? Who's going to be the play caller just to get their feet wet a little bit? Because the Seattle Seahawks are coming in. I don't know who they're going to play, but Mike McDonald's a real good coach. He's an amazing defensive mind. I definitely want to see what their defense can do against Matt LaFleur's very vanilla offense. And of course, on the defense side, I just want to see if LVN gets any snaps, and if he does, if he's stacking success. He's just continuing to have a good camp and a good preseason.
What sucks is that everybody's going to say it's preseason and that they don't see it. They got to see it in the regular season. And that's the truth. That is the truth. Yep. We got to see it from Jordan Morgan in the regular season. We got to see it from Lucas Van Ness. We got to see it from all these guys when the regular season rolls around there. So, Umber, thank you. As always, I got to run here, woefully late for a break. But let me know let people know where to find you out there across social media.
All right, find me on Twitter, AMAR3455. And just anything you guys need when it comes to Packer stuff, just follow me on there, and I try to stay on top of everything that's going on in the Packer world right now.
Awesome stuff. Awesome stuff as always. Make sure you're checking him out there, and make sure you're checking him out. He's got exciting stuff happening with the show that he's a part of Packer Network and all kinds of stuff. So there's going to be announcements for that. So make sure you guys are looking out for him across Twitter and everything like that. I'll make sure that I retweet it and share it across Facebook and everything like that. So with that, we'll be back here after a quick commercial break. We're going to talk Brewers on the backside of the ad break. We'll be right back here. Wisconsin Sports on the Go with Trage. Wisconsin Sports on the Go with Trage. I'm your host, Trage, as we come back on this Wednesday. And hey, this next segment, Kyle's stopping by. We have tons to get into with the NFL, MLB, everything like that. This next segment here is brought to you by Badger Tree Care, the local tree care business serving Clark and surrounding counties. They provide everything from tree trimming to pruning, full cleanup, small lot cleanup. I've seen some of the stuff that they do around. They do a fantastic job anywhere they go. They do what you need. And maybe you don't got time to do it yourself. They'll come out and do it for you. That's who you got to be talking to. Badger Tree Care there. So, Kyle, before we get into any of our talk tonight here, how are we doing? How are you doing on this Wednesday?
I am doing well. It's an interesting time across sports with packages and deals and all this kind of stuff. ESPN, Fox One. It's so confusing, but I'm happy to be here.
We're happy to have you, as always, here. And as always, as you guys always know, Kyle is a part of the Mellow Yellow Minute. And I didn't tell Kyle what the category was tonight here at the commercial break, so he's flying in blind. He's flying in blind on this one.
Let's do it.
We did top fair foods last week.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're going to go into top fair games. So some carnival games that we can play. This one might be interesting. So I'm going to give Kyle the list. It's the top 5 on the list, and he's going to try to put them in order. Okay. So we have milk bottle toss, duck pond. So I'm thinking that's one where you pluck the duck out of the pond there. Basketball shootout, balloon darts, and the ring toss. So, Kyle, those are the top 5. Where do you rank them within the top 5? Where would you rank them?
So I'm going to go number 5. Let's go duck pond.
Duck pond is not number 5.
Ooh. Interesting. Or the balloon darts?
Balloon darts is not number 5.
I mean, it's the one I like. I'm hoping this one isn't 5. But the B-ball, basketball shot.
Basketball shootout's number 5. Basketball shootout's number 5 on that list.
If I go to a fair, that's where I'm stopping first. But okay.
It's those dented rims and everything. The bent rims that just screw everybody. That's what it's got to be.
That is true. Okay, so 4. 4, let's go balloon darts.
Not balloon darts. Not balloon darts.
No way. Okay. I'm doing poorly. Is it duck pond?
It is duck pond.
Okay.
Duck pond is number 4. Duck pond is
I
number 4.
can live with that.
So you have ring toss, balloon darts, and milk bottle toss. That's going to be in the top 3 there.
3, I'm going to go ring toss.
It is not. It is one of the tosses, though. It is one of the tosses.
So it's a bottle toss. I mean, the bottle toss one, I guess.
Bottle toss. Bottle
Yes.
toss. Milk bottle toss is number 3. So we got ring toss and balloon darts. What do you got? 1 and 2.
I'm going to say balloon darts 2, ring toss 1.
Balloon darts is number 2. Ring toss is number 1. There we go. There you go. So you redeemed yourself for the top 2 there. It's just those bottom ones are rough. I mean, it's hard to separate what is actually I like versus whatever the heck this is. So that's the hardest part, is to get those out of it. So yeah, there you go. There's our top fair games list of the week there. So Kyle, let's jump over. You were talking about it before we even got into it. Let's talk about this MLB. TV rights deals. So Kyle had some news for me. I didn't even know this was happening. But Kyle, read it off. What do you got for me? The new TV deals for the MLB. Let's discuss these things, because some of them are going to be happy and some of them are going to irritate.
Yeah. So basically, I believe these will run through 2028 as of right now. And if you're an Apple TV Friday Night Baseball lover, fortunately, that's going to end. So Apple's out. I was actually excited for it. I thought the Apple presentation was really good. The stat overlays and stuff, but we're done. In its place, NBC and Peacock, which recently have been really becoming big players in the sports market, with the NBA rights going to NBC and Peacock. WWE was with Peacock, but WWE's like going to ESPN. So NBC and Peacock will get Friday Night Baseball. They'll have a Sunday exclusive as well, and they get Wild Card Baseball. Not bad. MLB TV, if that's your thing, being sold to ESPN for a lot of money. And then
ESPN owning anything is bad.
And then the last part, Netflix will have the Home Run Derby.
And he topped it. He thought ESPN was bad enough. Netflix now has the Home Run Derby. I didn't hate. Okay, so let's recap it all. I didn't hate Apple TV.
Mm-hmm.
I hate that it was another thing that I had to have to watch the Brewers like one time a month. That's what irritated me. If they could make it more accessible, it wasn't so bad. If there was more things on there, more games on there, wasn't so bad. It's just Friday night games, and it was just for me to watch the Brewers one time a month. How do you justify $8 to watch the Brewers one time a month? It kind of sucks. So I guess I can see where the dislike of that was. But now, I mean, Peacock, this is where I think fans will be okay with it.
Yes.
Peacock offers you Badger basketball, Badger football. Now if you get Brewer games on there, you get some NFL on there. I mean, Peacock's got it all now. NBC Peacock. So I mean, that actually makes sense. Apple TV, if they would offer more, wouldn't be so bad. ESPN, like I said, owning the rights to anything is terrible. Terrible. I got to be honest with you, Kyle, and I want to hear your opinion on this. ESPN analysts and everything like that stink. Like for MLB and everything like that, they stink because they don't know half the players on the Brewers. They don't know, like they'll talk about the Brewers and they'll say, "Oh yeah, the Brewers won a game today," but then they'll be like, "Oh yeah, but look what Aaron Judge did. Look what Shohei Ohtani did." Like they don't care. They don't really care. I just think the analysts on there suck. And then after I saw, I think it was like some guy named Shredder or something, he made a list. I think he's MLB.com, but made a list of the top second baseman in all of baseball, and Bryce Terang wasn't in the top 10.
Mm-hmm.
Really? Really? Are you kidding me right now? So even MLB right now is kind of driving me nuts with some of the crap they got. But I want to hear your opinion on that. What do you
So I was about to say, I could see where this could work. Because if they buy MLB TV, maybe some MLB TV personalities start taking over some of these MLB productions. So you probably get people who are locked in to MLB now calling games, so you don't have to worry about an analyst not necessarily knowing these people. So I think that instance, it could work. Like, basically what we're seeing is ESPN is buying up whatever they can. I mean, I was watching last night the Bengals preseason game on Monday. They had Rich Eisen doing Sports Center right after the game. Rich Eisen hasn't done Sports Center since like 2003.
Yeah.
But because ESPN now has NFL Network, Rich Eisen can now be used back on ESPN. So some of it, there are some good to it. Like seeing Rich Eisen on TV, I'm a big fan. Like he's a guy I really listen to. The pregame for Monday Night Football, they had Scott Van Pelt hosting it. Love that guy. So I think we're going to see maybe some better pre and post game with some of these sports, but I mean the MLB part we'll have to see what ESPN decides to do with MLB TV.
I wonder if that's why they're buying them is for their analysts. I really do.
Yeah.
I honestly think like you are 100% correct because like I just said, I think the analysts on ESPN before they got some of the NFL Network or anything, guys like that, they stunk. I mean, you had Adam Schefter, you had, some okay guys, but end of the day, I mean, they were nothing compared to Fox. They were nothing compared to these other guys. Like they were just, they were there for clickbait. That's honestly what it was. ESPN was basically clickbait. Now you get guys in there who actually know what they're talking about, actually care, like you're saying. I think that's huge. And I can see that. I like that. And I do like Rich Eisen too. I heard that because I was listening to ESPN radio and they said the Rich Eisen show was going to be on ESPN now. So I was like, so he must be joined. So yeah, okay. That's awesome. And it was good. I think I saw a thing about that because the last time I think he hosted it was with Stuart Scott. So that was, really cool to see. And
he took a picture like the morning before because somewhere in the studio they have a picture of Stuart Scott. So he like stood in front of it and took a picture like haven't been here since. Yeah.
That's
I
awesome.
love Stuart.
Two legends.
Stuart Scott
Yeah.
It was so good.
It was different. That's the old ESPN. That was the good ESPN. And then all those guys, they had, Stuart Scott, rest in peace, everything there. But, like Rich Eisen, he left. And you had, a couple other guys who just left ESPN. Dan Patrick was huge. That's massive when he left ESPN. And now it's like they're trying to backtrack and they're trying to get all these guys back and bring in. They had to bring in a whole network because they got to bring in the analysts that come along with it. So, it's going to be interesting to see. But MLB TV rights up in the air right now. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy. I am all for equal markets. I just want to see equal markets. I know we talk salary cap all the time. I think they should have equal TV rights. You look at what the Dodgers are able to do out there. I know it's because it's the Dodgers' bigger market, but if you could give equal rights to these teams so the Brewers could make that same kind of money that the Dodgers make there, I think it evens out the playing field there. So I think there's still more work to do with the MLB and their TV rights. But let's talk about this realignment. I got sent this, and then you sent me this graphic, and I got this graphic sent by a couple other fans there. The potential MLB realignments. So they've been discussing, I think it was Rob Manfred was discussing it even, but they were talking about some of the expansion teams. They talk about a Nashville team and a Portland team, so they're going to add those teams into it. But they're talking about realigning it all right now. So they'd have a National League, Midwest, Central, Southwest, and Northwest, and then they'd have an AL Northeast, Mid-Atlantic, Great Lakes AL, and then they'd have the AL Southeast. So the Brewers would actually be in the AL Great Lakes with the Twins, the Tigers, and the Toronto Blue Jays. The Brewers would be in there. Okay. If you haven't seen the graphic, check it out on Fox Baseball there. But Kyle, what are your thoughts on a realignment in Major League Baseball? The Red Sox, where the heck were they? They were...
I think it's Yankees, Mets,
oh, my goodness gracious. They would be in a tough division there with the Phillies, Red Sox, Mets, and Yankees. But what are your thoughts on a realignment of the divisions there? Are you for it, against it? Where are you at?
I'm actually here for it because you're going to get geographical rivalry, and it's going to be so good. Yeah, as a Red Sox fan, your division gets tougher, but you could have like a 2-week stretch if you played only divisional games. You get Yankees, Mets, Phillies, all fan bases that can't stand each other. So the atmospheres for those games are going to be crazy. So I think in that sense, this is probably something MLB could have been looking at before, but that part I definitely understand. Because when I saw the map, it was interesting that Seattle is way up northwest with nobody around them. Yep. So I think Portland makes the most sense because Portland and Seattle you create now an atmosphere. Because with Seattle, you either have to do like Portland or Vancouver. They clearly weren't going to do Canada again, so I think Portland makes a lot of sense. And then where Nashville comes into play is the Braves are kind of in the middle of nowhere because the Florida teams are deep South Florida, and then the next closest are like the Nationals up in the Virginia area, almost like the DC area. So Nashville now becomes a geographical rival for the Braves. Now it's going to take some time for Nashville to obviously be up to speed, but I mean that's probably I'm assuming. I haven't seen necessarily the divisions, but I'm assuming the Braves are going to be with like the Nashville team and the two Florida teams.
Yes, they would be with they'd be with. I think somebody said a Charlotte, but technically Nashville, Charlotte, all in the same. So they'd be the Nashville, the Rays, and the Marlins.
Nashville and Charlotte, yeah, because Charlotte is a budding like metropolitan area along with Nashville, so it's got to be one of them. I would prefer Nashville. Because I think if MLB goes there first, NFL's already there with the Titans. I think some other leagues could go into that area. But, yeah, I think this is something that will make baseball feel a little bit fresher, and I think only good can come from it. So I'm here for it, even though the division's going to be crazy. But, look, I can drum up enough hate to go around to make it work between the Phillies, Yankees, and the Mets.
I think you would just miss your rivalries, I guess would be the only thing. The Red Sox would be okay because they keep the Yankees, but the Brewers would lose. I mean, you keep the Twins, but that's never really a rivalry. You would have, I mean, you'd be with no Cubs, right? So you would lose the Cubs in the division there, which would be weird. You'd have a weird little thing. But, I mean, the alignments make sense. From what I saw from the graphics that they showed, everything made sense with them. So, I mean, yeah, we'd love to hear what you guys think. 715-990-4914. Let us know what you think. Yeah.
Make travel make a lot more sense.
Plus, you play all interleague games half the time anyways now. You don't play half your division. Like, your division games are lesser now. You play a lot of out-of-division games. So, in all reality, would it really affect? Kind of, but not really. I mean, at the end of the day, just some teams would get screwed by being in a really tough division every year, like the Red Sox with the Mets, Yankees, and Phillies. That's a really tough division to have to deal with every single year. But if you come out of it, you're one of the best. So, I mean, that's kind of...
It's two-sided as well, because now it'll force those four front offices to really go for it every year because they know the competition. Yep. And another part of it is MLB's trying to get to where all the games are played in two windows, 7 p.m. and 10 p.m. So I want to see how that works, because obviously in the West Coast, if you play those games at 10 p.m., it's like, 7 o'clock out there. There's a lot of teams in the East, so fitting them all into a 7 o'clock window, well, I guess that means you have a lot of games to choose from to watch at the same time. But yeah, I mean, it should be something that's good for baseball.
Yeah. No, I like it. Like I said before, I mean, a lot of your games are interleague anyways, so do the divisions really matter a lot? Kind of, to some. You know, the baseball purists are going to be affected by this. You know, the traditional people.
By everything.
They don't like the pitch clock. They don't like all that kind of stuff. But I was one of the ones where I didn't like the pitch clock. I got accustomed to it. I didn't like the batters, everything with the batter. I got accustomed to it. I didn't like, the pace of the play or whatever. They tried to make that faster. I thought I was going to hate it. I adjusted to it. I mean, if you want to watch baseball, you get over it at the end of the day. I mean, games are faster now. It's not ideal, I guess, to some because they want to spend 3 hours at the ballpark. But, I mean, that's to some, I guess. So, yeah.
Stand around and clean up after the game if you want to spend 3 hours.
Yeah. I mean, get a job in the ballpark. That's all you got to do. That's all you got to do that there. So, let's quick. Before I got to let you go here because I had to hit a break. Before we get there, let's talk some NFL real fast here. Micah Parsons. Adam Schefter tells us they're closer to a divorce than they are to anything else right now. He says that this is different than the Jerry Jones of the past, where Jerry Jones would play with these guys, oh yeah, we're not going to give you this deal right now. We're not going to give you the deal. Then all of a sudden he'd throw the deal at them and he'd give them this X amount of dollars and they had no choice but to stay. They say Micah Parsons isn't really all about that right now. So what are your thoughts on that right now? Hearing that, because the number one team that it seems like that's in for it right now is the Packers. So Packer fans are excited right now to see Micah Parsons in Green Bay. Give us your thoughts right now.
I think some of these Cowboys legends need to, break down the door, get in Jerry's face, and tell Jerry to get his ego out of the negotiations and do what's right. I think the Cowboys are going to struggle this season anyway, but you can't justify your best defensive player going out the door because you don't want to speak to agents. You don't want to act like he's some great Cowboys player. Like, I feel like if Parsons leaves, like, this could be the move that gets Jerry out of the front office some way, somehow. I think it's crazy that we've gotten to this point.
Would Dallas Cowboy fans really be upset with that? I don't think so. I don't think so at this point. I think they'd be absolutely okay if Jerry was out of the front office. I don't think they'd be okay with Micah Parsons leaving. I think they'd be okay with Jerry getting out of the front office. Is this what it's going to take? That would suck, though, if you're a Dallas Cowboy fan, that it takes Micah Parsons leaving or getting traded for you to finally get Jerry Jones out of that front office, making all the decisions picture. That would suck. That would absolutely suck. So there's two more big names that we're looking at right now. Trey Hendrickson, Terry McLaurin. You're talking about that Monday night game. They were both there. They were both on opposing sides, not really doing anything. What are your thoughts on those? Do they get deals done? I'm kind of in the party of it's going to be like a week before the season. We're going to get both these deals done, maybe a day before the first game. I don't know. But where are you at right now, Trey Hendrickson and Terry McLaurin? Do you think both deals get done?
I think McLaurin gets done. If the reporting is correct that all the Bengals are really looking for with Trey Hendrickson is a first-round pick and a young defensive player, then there's a good chance he's gone because I can't see a world where some team doesn't step up and offer something like that to get Trey Hendrickson out of Cincinnati. So I think Hendrickson's going to be gone, which is also kind of crazy. The only thing that might work in the Bengals' favor is that Hendrickson is 30 years old and needs a new contract. Some teams might be wary of that. So if that does happen and there's no market for him, then the Bengals might be able to keep him. But right now, I think Hendrickson's going to be gone.
My favorite part is that the Packers are the favorites for Hendrickson and Micah Parsons. It makes my day. It makes my day to know that the Packers. Yeah. And they was told that they made a massive offer from Micah Parsons. So I'd love to see what that massive offer was. I'd love to see what they said or what was the offer. But it's crazy to hear that the Packers are in something like that right now. So one last thing, Kyle, before I have to let you go. Rank these quarterbacks because I just saw this. I was scrolling through Facebook and I just saw this. Jordan Love, Caleb Williams, Jared Goff, J.J. McCarthy. Rank those quarterbacks for me real fast. I don't need an explanation. Just rank them for me 1 through 4. What do you got?
I've got Love, Goff, Williams, McCarthy.
I love it. I absolutely love it. I don't need an explanation for that because Jordan Love's the best of them all there. So, Kyle, let the people know where to find you out there across social media here.
You can check me out, Chomping at the Bit. Go to YouTube. All my socials are there. Easiest way. Or Facebook, Chomping at the Bit. The group the page for the podcast. You'll find all my socials there as well. Those are the easiest ways to find me.
Make sure you're doing it. He's got great stuff out there. He's going to be previewing all these matchups, all the things that you need to know in the NFL. He makes sure at the NBA, if anything crazy's happening, he's there too. He's got all that stuff. He's previewing that. So make sure you're checking him out there, chomping at the bit across all podcasts and social media platforms there. So with that, we're going to be right back here after a quick commercial break. We're going to talk Brewers here on the backside here as we get closer and closer to the end of the show here. So we'll be back here after this quick commercial break.